Hello, welcome to Cinemondo, Grrls Edition. Kathy and Natalie.
Hello.
Natalie's back. She was busy. She didn't have time for us. Now she's back.
I'm in two book clubs.
You did that great George Clooney, Julia Roberts movie with us, which just looks awful.
I know. And yet, when I posted the video on my social media, a friend was like, "Can we go see it though?" And I'm like, "Of course we can.
Of course. We're going to see it. I mean, it being good is beside the point.
I went and saw Beast with Idris Elba just to watch him punch that lion.
Could not see anything bad with lions because they have enough trouble. They don't need this shit.
But this lion was scary.
Who would make a movie about a lion being the bad guy? I mean, we all know it's not the lion.
Right. Well, that is a pivotal part of the movie because the lion is seeking revenge because of poachers. So you're kind of like, I get it. Idris Elba isn't the poacher, but you get it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, so have him killing poachers. I mean, I don't know. So I couldn't see it because I was afraid the lion would die. But anyway, we digress.
I've already taken us off track.
I know. It's like already. I'm like, ah. So today we are going over a trailer. It's a teaser trailer for a new Kannada film called Kabzaa. And it stars Sudeepa, who was also in Vikram Rona, which I can't wait to see. And I wasn't able to see it. It wasn't any nearby theater. It's that kind of piratey nautical looking movie that looks so fun. So I'm looking forward to the OTT for that. So when we do that, we will review it with Natalie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pirates.
I love pirates.
Oh, it looks so fun. I mean, I don't know exactly what it's about, but he's on a ship and it looked, had a port. So I don't look back in time. But anyway, so I don't know what this is about, except that I think it's 1947. That's all I really know. So I'm hoping the trailer will tell us the story. So are you ready to watch this trailer?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Music on.
And I was like, this is Canada.
Sudeepa.
All right.
They say that's a teaser, and that looked like a full-fledged trailer almost. They just didn't have any dialogue, but it was.
That's
it was
where
long.
I'm like, you have to give me dialogue.
It's a teaser, though. They're teasing you with no dialogue.
I'm like, what do I mean? Remember when I told you, I know that they keep flashing me the date, and yet I think we're in ancient times. We're in ancient Babylonian.
I know.
Because there was fire.
It had a kind of Peaky Blinders vibe because of the cars, and of course I didn't even watch Peaky Blinders, but I know exactly what it looks like. That's one of the things I need to watch.
I'm glad we're on the same page about Peaky Blinders, where it's like everyone's told us to watch it, and we're like,
I'll tell you why. It has to do with an animal again. So it always does it. The first episode, he's riding this horse and he shoots the horse. Why am I going to watch this? No. Anyway, so we're back to this movie. so this movie is Kannada, which is also the home place of KGF 1 and 2. And so I'm getting a very KGF vibe from this. I don't know if you've seen those movies with Yash, by the way. It's great. It's kind of the same. It's this sort of gangster. In KGF, he's more of like he makes a promise to his mother. He's a little poor kid, and he kind of grows up striving to be the most powerful gangster in the world, and he's going to collect all the gold in the world he can get for her, even though she's dead. Yeah, so that's his promise. So
honestly,
he does
that in my will. That
exactly.
like when I die,
all the gold,
all the gold.
And then someone will actually do it for you. But so he ends up running the gold fields, and so he ends up like commandeering all the gold. But this is like a star making performance, and Yash is like super duper rocking star Yash because of this series. And now we have Sudeep kind of taking on the mantle. We're gonna head into gangster territory for Kannada film. I mean, this one looks a lot glossier. I mean, KGF is also pretty glossy. There's a lot of slow motion of Yash in really cool suits walking through the streets, looking really cool and doing violence in very cool
cinematic moments.
Exactly. But this looks pretty epic. I mean, there's some really polished, gorgeous stuff in it. I mean, you haven't seen KGF, so what was your impression on this just as coming in cold, not knowing anything about Kannada films?
Not knowing anything.
Not knowing anything.
It just feels like one of those movies where you're sitting in the movie theater and you're all amped to see one movie, and then this trailer happens and you're like, well, look at that masterpiece.
I want to see this.
The hell? When's that coming out?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I'm here to see Thor, but now I'm seeing this going, what's this movie? I want to see this instead.
This movie? Which I guess is the job of trailers. So it succeeded.
Yeah, this is actually a really polished teaser.
I also love to see like historical times like the 40s, but in other countries, because we don't learn anything like that here in America. We only like focus on ourselves. So I love watching movies that take place in historical places, other places.
That's a good point.
And reading books like that. So
yeah. I know it's a genre that we have here, the Scorsese mind a lot, that kind of retro gangster movie. And so it's interesting to see, Gangs of New York, exactly. It's cool to see this is like their version, but it's probably a whole other depth and different level because it's involving, like freedom fighters, and it's a lot more political, whereas, Scorsese's were mostly clearly just gangster. They didn't care about any of the politics at the time. So this is like probably gonna go a lot deeper. There's probably some true elements to it. They would always bring in a little more history than America does because we have no history. I mean, we've been around like 200 years. We don't know shit. So that's basically where we're coming from. But this looks amazing. I had no idea that this was that cool vibe of the 40s and the gangsters, the cool sedans, and I love it. I love it.
I do love an old car, even though I'm not into cars. It's like, ooh, a relic from the days of yesteryear.
Oh, I know. It's like, oh, look, it's some kind of like Scorsese. I want it.
Well, like the costumes are going to be really like cut and nice, and people are going to be dressed to the nines.
You saw those shoes, man. When he stepped out of the car with that shoe, I was like, oh, that's a nice shoe.
Why commit crime when you could commit crime fashionable?
You gotta be fashionable. And I always notice shoes in movies, no matter what. Like I saw Brahmastra. All I could do was I'm like, okay, where does she get these boots that she's wearing? Because she had this cool, beautiful dresses and then these chunky boots. And then she's wearing her little jeans with these same chunky boots. I'm like, I gotta have these boots. That's the whole time I'm thinking this through the whole movie. Like, where'd you get those boots?
She needs to call me. I have a wedding that I have to shop for shoes for.
So anyway, this looks fantastic. I'm excited by the stars. I'm excited by the look. I'm excited by the era. It all looks really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing a full-length trailer with dialogue.
Yes,
we'll bring it to
just
that.
to get a little bit more context.
Yes, we want more context. Definitely. I mean, granted, it's all about how it looks because it does look beautiful. Sure. So we can put dialogue's just gravy at this point.
You never know with me. I might take the side of the bad guys based on dialogue alone. Oh. Sometimes they make sense.
Always the bad guys. And the thing is, it's always complicated. Like bad guys aren't necessarily the bad guys. Eventually you find that out. Like they're not worse than the cops. Everybody's the same. So who are you going to side with? The guys who dress well or cops? What's it going to be?
Probably the guys with good shoes.
The guy with good shoes is always the one to pick every time. All right, you guys see what happens when you listen to a review with girls. You get to talk about shoes. That's just how it goes. That's just what it is.
And the cut of your suit.
So stay tuned for our next full-length trailer review of this. We'll talk more about the shoes that we see in it.
Yep.
That'll be great. Okay, see you guys later.
Bye everybody.